Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Singer.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler. Wolverine. I love that new intro.
Dude, it's so good.
So good.
I look at all the pictures and I just smile the whole time.
I know. We need to add more pictures to this. We need to start doing stuff again. Or you know what? This sounds like such a married couple thing, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Uh-oh.
We do a horrible job taking pictures.
I know. Because we're too busy doing shit.
I know.
Like, I don't think about, dude, I am that way in everything. Like, when it comes to taking pictures. I mean, we'll get into my buddy's stuff later, but like, dude, I brought like a drone and I was going to do all this stuff. And like, I don't want to even, like, I just want to be in the thing. I don't want to stand back taking pictures. I'm terrible.
I'm really good at taking pictures of my kids, and that's about it.
Right.
Like me and my wife, we have no pictures together. Even like me and my kids together barely have any pictures together. But if it's just them, yeah, it's just them.
I know.
Okay, speaking of, we're here to talk about the Service Open or the Service Cup. The Service Open, I guess, already took place. This is now the Service Cup. This is the second part of what the Service Open was. During the Open, it qualified you for this position, and we'll go through the 3 events that are part of the Service Cup. But you had a heck of a weekend because of one of your buddies.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so remember when Tosh did the row across the Atlantic?
Yeah.
From Spain to Antigua, which was amazing. And if you guys haven't seen his documentary that they put out, it's called The Standard. Awesome. Yeah. It is awesome. Well, the 75th anniversary for Cal Poly Wrestling happened earlier this year, and I got to see a bunch of my buddies that I haven't seen in 30 years that I wrestled with. One of them is this guy, Pat Morrissey, who was on my team for, I think, 2 or 3 of the years. It was awesome to see him. I was all stoked. And then he tells me that he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And I'm like,
God, dude.
Damn, dude. Like, super physical guy, big mountain biker. He's from Colorado, Durango, Colorado. That's him right there at the back of the furthest to the right there.
Oh, he's on this thing? He's doing it?
Dude, he's doing it. So
I thought it was just like for him. He's doing it?
No. So when he was told that he had Parkinson's, he started working out like crazy. One of the guys, it's his neighbor, is a big ultra marathoner guy, and he's like, hey, I want to do this big crazy thing. I want to row across, and Pat was automatically right on board. He wanted to do it. They got a couple more guys that are like SEAL guys, and some of them are like badass dude. And they joined up with the Michael J. Fox organization. And they're raising $28 million for Parkinson's disease. And I think they're like at 13 something, or maybe $14 million that they've raised so far. But he has Parkinson's and he's on the boat with them. And I was really hoping, like, so we went out there when I knew that they were launching from so they're going from Monterey to Hawaii.
Am I reading this right? Monterey to Hawaii?
To Hawaii, 2,800 miles.
What?
Yeah, crazy.
Dang.
And it's weird. I mean, like, I've seen all the documentaries. I saw Tosh's stuff.
Dude, that stuff is insane.
It's like you watch it, but dude, I've seen all the videos, and I can imagine what it would be like to work through it the whole time. But like when I was there seeing the takeoff, when we were there for the launch, it was crazy. So I originally, like, me and Laura went up, me and my girlfriend went up, and I wanted to take my ski out. Now I wanted to ride out with him like 30 miles. Yeah. And just follow, take pictures, and just be part of that whole thing, that whole journey with them. Just selfishly, I wanted to be part of that whole thing. Found out that it was illegal to have a ski out there. It's like a sanctuary area, so they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let me put it in the water at all, which was oddly awesome, because what it ended up doing is, like, me and Laura are just there kind of by that flag that you saw. There's 9 boats, so they all have their own flags, and like I think it's like 7 different countries of people that are there.
Did you go out in the water? I saw.
No. There was a boat that was out there. So the ones that were shot from the water were their stuff, but like we were up on the pier. So we
Okay.
were right there, and then we got up along the pier and watched them. But dude, we got to hang out. So right there, we're on the pier with them, with all the people. So I'm hanging out with a bunch of people from like the Michael J. Fox Foundation. This one guy, you know, he's had Parkinson's disease, and he was telling me about some brain stem operation that he got to get it done.
Whoa.
We're there with his wife that like I met briefly like at the 75th anniversary, and I'm texting Pat. I'm waving to him and stuff. I'm like, you better. It was really funny. There's this whole army, British Army team that was right next to him. I'm like, you better beat those little army dudes right next to you in the white shirt, you know, just texting trash back and forth. And he's texting his wife, and she's like, well, where's everyone called me Billy back in college. She's like, where's Billy? And he's like, he's right in front of you. And all of a sudden I get a tap on my shoulder. And I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Wow.
Meet his wife, got to meet their two daughters and their whole group. It was really cool. But all of a sudden I was like put right into the middle, dude, right in the heart of their whole group. And it was, man, dude, it was so powerful. So powerful. Like I'm watching them row out thinking, holy shit, they have 40 days to go now.
Dude.
40 days, dude. Like they have all their food on the boat. They have all their water on, like they have like a desalinator, a pump that they use.
Okay.
They have to take extra oars in case they bust an oar when they're out there because they have no chase boat.
Well, I mean, think about what happened on Tosh's boat. Like they had an
Right.
electrical problem, and they didn't have like the nav system or the rudder system that was supposed to, and then like the bilge pump deal.
So it was nuts.
So
man.
much can go wrong.
I heard this was what was crazy. I heard someone was talking about their coach, and I was just listening kind of to the other people that were talking, and one of them, somebody was saying, oh yeah, well Angus, you know, their coach said that they're really good. They might actually have a good shot of actually winning this race. And I was like, Angus. Dude, I think that was Tosh's coach. So I haven't talked to Tosh, dude, like in years, and I hit him up on Instagram. And I'm like, what's up, dude? Long time. I'm like, hey, was Angus your coach? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow. My buddy. So now I know two people that have been involved in this race. One across the Atlantic, one across the Pacific. Dude, like.
That's awesome.
It honestly, I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff that
you'll need to go watch that documentary.
Dude, you have to go watch. It's so good. I honestly, I don't want to go to do Mount Everest or anything like that. But this right here, dude, like I feel myself going, I would love to be with a group and do this.
Oh, I want no part of Mount Everest. No way.
Same. But anyway, so those guys, they were winning for a while. I just saw that their boat, you can actually watch. There's an app. If you go to the website,
oh, really?
I think it's World's Toughest Row. You can find, they actually do the trailing, and you can see all the boats where they are and how fast they're going and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. And they were winning, and then all of a sudden they stopped. And I guess like two of the guys got heavy like seasickness because they're just getting pounded with wind right now.
Yeah.
And they have a thing that, dude, all these things that I'm like learning now. Like it's a rowboat with two little capsules on the end. You're exposed.
Yeah, there's nothing. I had a buddy that did this when I first started CrossFit. He was young too, and they did that shut up and row challenge. They did that
really
thing back in the day. It was just insane to me. I think Heidi's right. It sounds like Billy's signing up for the next one.
Well, it was funny. When I was talking to one of the ladies there, she's like, well, you know, we're looking to recruit for the next thing. And I'm like,
you do not have 40 days to step away for anything in your life right now.
I know. That's what I mean. I know, but like that inner me, like I mean, dude, like just exposing yourself to the the ultimate, like no help. It's all you, like Mother Nature, dude. Like this thing, right? Dude, they were talking about they were in like 25-foot waves.
Oh my God.
And if you look at some of the other ones that are out there, I saw one of a lady who did I think she was doing a solo trip on the Atlantic. She got rolled, capsized 9 times in her boat. She was in her compartment, door shut, rolling. Gnarly.
Heidi's a trip. Heidi, thanks for being here, by the way.
But yeah, they are doing donations. If you guys are up for that, they have someone that's actually tripling any donation that anyone puts up.
Where can they go for that?
The website is humanpoweredpotential.com.
Okay, I have their Instagram.
Yeah. Follow that.
Team
That'll take you right to their
Outfit.
website.
Yeah.
So if you look at the boat right there, that's them right there on that thing.
Oh, that's them. Like this is the team.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude.
Look how small that thing is.
Oh my gosh.
So Pat's the number 2 guy in there with the glasses on and the blue hat.
Is that your guy?
Yeah, it's a dude right there.
Dang. Dude, I mean, imagine getting diagnosed with that and you're like, okay, I need to get in. I need to get in life before it's taken away from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's intense.
Well, and the weird thing is interesting talking to his wife about it. Usually, especially like in the early stages, exercise, like when someone with Parkinson's disease is exercising, they aren't experiencing the Parkinson's tics and the shakes and all that kind of stuff. And they think what it is the amount of dopamine that's in their body. Like he has half the dopamine in his body regularly now than someone that doesn't have Parkinson's disease. But the exercise seems to bump up that dopamine. So while he's exercising, he doesn't have the tremors.
It's like fighting it.
Yeah, and I asked,
that chick that CrossFit was posting about where they had like videos of her.
Yeah.
And then she started doing CrossFit, and then it not reversed, but at least like the way she was debilitated.
Yeah.
Like almost went the other way. You're like, it was a completely different person.
Yeah. Dude, I know that Wes Pyatt up at CrossFit Gilroy. Gilroy?
I thought he was Coast.
Yeah, they're up in Gilroy. Yeah. They do a Parkinson's class. I guess they have some kind of, I think it's his wife Megan. I think it's her dad has Parkinson's disease, and there's some people at the hospital wherever he goes that they actually bring them over to their gym, and they do a class for them. Yeah.
One of the most effective therapies for Parkinson's sufferers is that old school wooden paddle with a rubber ball. Like just
wow.
Is that true? Guys, I'm like the most gullible person in the world, by the way. Like, you gotta be careful. Yeah.
How did I forget? She's Coast Range CrossFit. Yeah. Sorry, Wes.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
But I was interested. I'm like, okay, so if he's out here exercising this whole time.
Jules King. Thank you, Ashley.
Yes.
She made it for the first time? Oh yeah. Wheelwad just sent out games invites.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, good for her. I was curious if it backed up. Like if all of a sudden you're exercising for 24 hours straight and you don't have any tics with it, what happens when you're coming off?
I don't know.
And his wife said, no, it takes away the time during the exercise. He doesn't have it. It's crazy, dude. It's nuts. But the fact that you have something like that and you're going to put yourself into something, and it's what you'll hear, like when Tasha's on there, he's like, when he asked, like, and I won't spoil it, but I thought there was something really interesting. They said, how was the row? And he's like, the further away I get from the row, the more I like the row.
Yeah.
Like when they're talking about after it, like right after it, he's like,
that makes sense.
That effing sucked bad. And they hit some rough spots, rough mentally,
they had a rough go.
rough water, the whole deal. And he's like, the further you get that, the kind of amnesia stuff, you know what I mean? You forget.
It's like, I mean, I'm not quitting to the same thing, but it's like having kids.
Totally.
I can never put myself, obviously, like no one can put themselves in a woman's body unless they are an actual woman. And through pregnancy and giving birth, right? Like after watching the first one, I'm like, why would anybody have a second one? Like, what? And then there's that amnesia thing. And then, yeah. And then we have two.
Yeah, there you go. It's crazy. Yeah, but I'm fired up for these guys. And it's funny how we used to do the old school like leaderboarding.
Yeah.
Like during the open and stuff. Dude, that's how I'm doing on watching the dots.
I mean, that's what I did with Tasha's team.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome.
Yeah. Anyway.
Heidi.
Godspeed, boys. Godspeed.
Secretly, I've been wanting Heidi to be on this show more often just because I love her comments. Even though I can't read half of them.
Right.
Speaking of, not Heidi's comments, but what we're here to talk about.
Just the tip.
My God. Speaking of serving others.
Oh my goodness. Look at
Ah,
you. That
come
was a good
on.
one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Solid.
You know, I should do broadcasting. Let's talk about the Service Cup. It started on the 8th, and it'll be going to the 13th. So if you are an affiliate owner, a CrossFit trainer, medical professional, educator, military veteran, active duty, law enforcement, firefighter, first responder, and EMS responder. I think one of those is more of like European differences between like EMS responder and first responder or something like that.
Yeah, I think that there are some people that like are only EMS. So you're talking like ambulance people, whatever. There are definitely that are in the fire service too. But
Yeah.
I think first responder is more of a general, anyone
Like,
that's going to be called out to an
okay.
emergency.
Okay. All right. But it is going on now, and it's still going on. You guys have until Thursday to jump on this, and it's in collab with Rogue Fitness. I think they're the main sponsors of the Service Cup. No surprise there. Rogue Fitness is just world class when it comes to just obviously our community in general from CrossFit itself, but its connections with, I mean, talking about leading by example. What Katie and Bill do with Rogue. Like, it's incredible to watch. Like, if you go to the CrossFit Games and Rogue's turning over the floor for the next event, like, you see Katie out there moving mats. Like, it's ridiculous. And the small time I got to be around them, like, you know why Rogue works so well, because just like anything in this world, it trickles from the top down.
Yep.
Top down, right? And there's nothing bad you can say about what they do. They're the hardest working people I know. They stick to their guns, and they have their own convictions about the sport, the methodology, their Iron Game expansion of serving weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman. I mean, what they're doing to just change the world of fitness and strength and everything is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I love the fact that they, from when they started originally, like their origins to now haven't changed, and
No.
it is. I mean, I applaud those guys for being boots on the ground type of leaders, because I think those are by far the most effective groups and teams and companies and organizations, because they get it. Like, they aren't disconnected from what they're trying to give.
Yeah.
And selfishly, I know that they have done all this other great stuff for strongman and everything else. Thanks, Eden.
Thanks, Ian. Bill, for your
I think I heard it. I think I heard tink, tink, tink. I heard it drop right in the little bucket.
Right there.
But they
we gotta pay to get Bill's 40-day leave. So if you guys want to see Bill, you got to donate to the show to go to Bill, and then you have to also fundraise for but yeah.
But I've all the stuff that they've done, as big as they've become, like, there is not a gym in the world anywhere that does not have Rogue stuff.
Yeah.
And they're still, they're CrossFit, man.
And they're still innovating and creating and building and what
not
they
losing
do.
who they.
Yes.
They haven't changed anything from who they are.
They've only improved.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And so if you guys are in Scotland, you're welcome.
Yeah, seriously.
The Rogue Invitational coming there. You guys got to go. So we just want to review. We want to review the events, this being the Service Cup. Obviously, this is massively focused on service members in the community. Originally, when the Service Cup, or what was it called back in the day, the occupational
games.
Like CrossFit is rooted, CrossFit itself, right? Bedrock rooted in military first responders. We went through the CrossFit Journal in respects of that, the way this trains, like the CrossFit training methodology, right? Just a more focused and intentful strength and conditioning program for functional movements in a wide range of work capacities and time domains.
Unknown and unknowable.
The unknown and unknowable, which is
people that need that. The correct way to use that term, by the way.
Yeah, of first respect. Yeah, not in competition per se, right? We get it. But as far as life is unpredictable. Life is unknown. Life is unknowable. and having a fitness program that is general physical preparedness to set yourself up to at least optimize your physical state to be prepared for anything and everything across the sun. And that's CrossFit by itself. And what other basically life domain is that more needed than military, first responders, service members? And so that's why it's such hand in hand. That's why we have hero workouts. As sad as it is to have the number that we do, they are in honor of those that served, right? Whether they're first responders, at some point in times, it could be girl benchmark workouts as a in memorandum, right? And so what this is I'm glad it's back, because it disappeared for a year or two, and then Mayhem picked it up, and they did a great job carrying the flag for a while, and I think they still are, which is fantastic. The more we can recognize and support these people, the better. And we just wanted to go through it. It's 3 events that they have. And the first one is Daniel. Daniel is 50 pull-ups, just chin over the bar, 400-meter run, 21 thrusters at 95 and 65, 800-meter run, 21 thrusters, 400-meter run, 50 pull-ups. Daniel is one of my favorite hero workouts. I remember the first time I did it, I dropped into this affiliate in San Antonio. I was living in Dallas. I was training for the games and dropped into this affiliate. I think it was CrossFit San Antonio at the time. And just had a blast with this one. Plus, I love WM. I'm a sucker for a weightlifting monostructural triplet, and then you get me even better when it's a chipper style, and maybe even more if it's a pyramid and it's all even. Like this. I don't want to say this with Heidi in the chat, but like this touches me in a programmer's like soul, where I just love this particular workout.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you get one, or when you have any sort of workout that looks aesthetically pleasing to the eye, like just the design of this, and thinking about, okay, how far are we running? We have the 400 meters, and that equals up to the 800 in the middle. That's the top of the pyramid, and you have 100 pull-ups that are going on here, and it's pull-ups and thrusters and running, and the way it's set up, but not just the way it's designed and the way it looks, but the way that this one's going to feel.
Yeah,
and like it's one of those things that it's not that hard to do. Like the movements aren't that hard. It's not that it's heavy. This is okay. You now get to pick how bad do you want this one to feel, and it can be really, really, really bad, or it could be just a great movement one too.
I like what they have here at the bottom too. This workout's dedicated to Army Sergeant First Class Daniel Crabtree, who was killed in Al-Qut, Iraq on Thursday, June 8th, 2006. Wow, that just happened, or I guess June 8th, a couple days ago. Yeah. Crabtree is survived by his wife, Kathy, daughter, and numerous other friends and family members. And not to forget, like, these things are named after heroes for a reason, and we use that. We don't use that word lightly, but we use it with the utmost respect when it comes to that. So I do like how all 3 of these are basically hero workouts. I think it's a really, really cool avenue to go down. Beck has this question. If you're old and partially broken, can you mix and match the RX and intermediate movements and weights? Asking for a friend. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe not in the competition, but if you're going to do the workout,
but in the class, if you guys are doing this on your own, make this to you. And if you can't do it, that's what your coach's job is for.
Yep.
And if you don't have a coach, ask a friend. If you don't have a friend, ask us.
Yeah, come on the show and ask us.
Yeah. Just put it in the chat. Hey, or DM us. We're easy to find. We're very responsive. I don't know. Speak for Bill, but
it depends. Sometimes, you know how it is. I'm the same thing in the text thread too. It's like if I have a moment and I can hang out, I'm having fun. But other than that, it's like I'm in the middle of the class. Shit. Yeah, I got a question. Before, as we even get to the next ones, what's your feeling on when it comes to either honorary type workouts or hero workouts like this, where the numbers need to represent certain things? Like, are you big on that, or do you care?
I don't care. I think it's cool if it does, right? So obviously Daniel was killed in action June 8th, 2006. So, okay, that's a 6, it's an 8, it's 20 and 06. Like, you see that happen sometimes with some of these hero workouts and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the cool thing is sometimes it's like, it's just a workout that they loved, right?
Yeah,
so maybe the way it was like, hey, he loves Fran and he loved running. I don't know if that's the case, but sometimes that's a part of it. Like Bubs or right.
Right. Sean's buddy. Bub. Yeah.
Right. Greg Doherty,
Yeah.
Bub, right? There's a hero workout named after him. It's not just a supplement company. In fact, it's a lifestyle brand that was created in honor of Greg Doherty, right? Code name Bub. And there's a workout after him. And I believe it was just all the movements that he loved to do. So they just put it together. But I'm not sure they work with Dave exclusively on it, but that's just how it goes. And sometimes when you submit these things, is they make a workout and you sign off on it. Or sometimes it is something like you see that from time to time. What about you? I like the creativity if they can make it work. But at the end of the day, I'm good either way.
Yeah, I think it's cool if it works, but I don't like when someone feels restricted, or you can obviously see that they're restricted and you end up getting these weird movements in there. Jeez. Easy over there. The only one I'm hyper responsive to is my ladies, for sure.
Yes, we know. Heidi's just trying to get us in trouble.
Dang. But I mean, I think it's cool, but like, I think it's hard when someone feels like that becomes the precipice of whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Getting like a good fun response, something that you're able to have a good memory of the person. Like, we don't, like for Murph, those numbers in that we use have nothing to do with the day that he was killed or anything like that. It was that's just what he did.
Yeah, and that's what I said. It's like, it was his favorite way to train and prep for the military.
Yeah.
Which some type of tribute to him, whatever it is. I do think it's cool, but I love Daniel, and I'm really glad. I like that they brought it here. I can't remember if this is in the comments, like, oh, how do they measure distances or make sure everybody does? I'm like, man, if you're going to go out there and join the service cup and cheat,
what kind of service are you in anyway?
Yeah. Like,
integrity is one of those things.
If your head
right?
can hit the pillow and you can sleep well at night, God bless you. But, that's a Texas bless your heart. But I love Daniel. I really like this. I would love to see Daniel. We'll have like beefed up hero workouts.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a version of Daniel, either the semifinal level at least, or maybe at the CrossFit Games. I know Mark Moss is in here and saying he did it vested. I'd always punt to vested, especially like pull-ups and thrusters, but
no, just make you could easily just bump the weight up on the thruster.
Chest to bar pull-ups and heavy 135-pound thrusters and just go party. Right?
Dude, that would be...
That's it. That's all you got to do. You don't need to get crazy sexy here.
That would be a good one.
Dude, that would be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
50, chest to bar pull-ups, 135 and 95 on the thrusters. Everybody may or may not go unbroken, should or shouldn't. That's the question, right? It's not a matter of could. They all can. If I can do 50 unbroken chest to bar pull-ups, they can. 21 thrusters at 135 and 95, no problem.
Dude, that whole back half of this race would be
An 800-meter run allows you to go unbroken too.
Yep.
Right, and then that back half, right, that 400-meter coming off the thrusters. I mean, we just went thruster, run thruster, 400-meter, and now we're coming into those last 50 chest bar pull-ups.
It's like the end of Jackie, where like you have to hold
unbroken at the end. So it's just a slug fest of chest to bars to the end. Dear Dave Castro, I know Savant has the Dear Bill and Katie on this show. It's Dear
right.
Dude, we're talking about the games. I know Bonds did the semifinals. All right. Next one, Randy. This workout was created in honor of Randy Simmons, 51 at A 27-year LAPD veteran and SWAT team member who was killed February 7th, 2008 in the line of duty. He was survived by his wife, Lisa, son, Matthew, and daughter, Gabriel. 75 snatches at 75 and 55. This was actually programmed at the 2015 regionals. This was event 1.
Yeah.
And event 2 was Tommy V.
Tommy V. This
Two
is
back-to-back hero workouts.
This is when we saw Travis do that weird tuck under
the snake
little
snatch.
Yeah.
Someone needs to like repurpose that video and play one of those Snake Charmer songs over it.
Oh man.
Yeah. Navy, we'll get there. They have, it's not just a hero workout with all military, because the Service Cup is across the board, and we had a military in Daniel, and now we have a police officer or first responder for the second one. Stark difference in what we just did in event 1. I mean, is we went long, squat, press, pull, run, and now here it's just like ground overhead with a light weight and just grip it and rip it. Yeah. Very few workouts does grip it and rip it actually take place. This is one of those, which a good little balance. I mean, I'm not too particular on the balance of programming for the Service Cup. I just wanted to talk about the events and review. That's why this isn't analyzing. But I still can't help but dip my toe in the analyzing bucket, and I like going from that to this.
Time domain wise, for sure. Types of movements, for sure. Mm-hmm. As we get to the last one, then I can actually see the weight one. I mean, for fun, like this one's always fun to do, like, cause it's just so dang easy. Like, you don't really need to warm up for this one. You know, it's not so heavy that you need to get your movement patterns all set up. It's just like, okay, how many times do I want to break this one? You know, when they did it at the regionals that one year, we were really interested before they even got on the floor. It was like, okay, where are they going to make people move?
Yes.
Because that kind of determined when your breaks were going to be. And if people were going to hold it up overhead and then not put it down and just keep on running.
Right.
You know, that where all of a sudden there's a strategy to how they break it up. And we've seen that a handful of times where all of a sudden, you know, we want people to kind of run into the red and they force you to move, which kind of stops you.
Yeah.
So, and Chelsea, no, I don't ever warm up. I'm bad with that.
No,
I don't have time. I don't have time for that.
Like, as you get older, you do the opposite of everything you should be doing.
I know. I'm the classic do what I say, not what I do. I mean, you can do what I do. That's fine. But like, I don't tell me.
Don't do it. I tried it and it like set me back 6 months. I don't recommend. But I like Randy on there. Another thing too is that if you're doing this in the affiliate, like, this is a really easy thing to set up.
Oh yeah.
With with Daniel, and then an even easier one to set up with Randy.
Totally.
And Randy's this one is old school. That's one of the first ones we've had. There's that list too. I should find that list. All right, and then the last one, Kelly Brown. It says this workout is dedicated to CrossFit Kids seminar staff flow master Kelly Brown, who passed away September 15th, 2020 after a courageous 5-year battle with ovarian cancer, and she was only 44. Brown survived by her husband, John, and their 2 children, a 14-year-old son and 11-year-old daughter. 5 rounds her time, 440-meter row. 44.
44, got it.
44. 10 box jumps, 10 deadlifts, 10 wall ball shots for the women. 24-inch box, 185-pound deadlift, 14-pound ball to a 9-foot target. Men, 30-inch box, 275-pound deadlift, and a 20-pound ball to a 10-foot target. I mean, you got a little bit of everything in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, I think that the fact that they have, I mean, it's terrible that they have to have a CrossFit Flowmaster that's as one of the, hero workouts. But for the service cup, it is cool that we have military, then we have a law enforcement, and then we have a coach. And that's one of the things that was kind of new, I thought, actually, to the whole service cup thing. When they made that list, like there was a part of me that was kind of like, maybe it was the firefighter in me that was saying this, like, how many more people are we going to put on this list of service? But
I'm with you.
I mean,
I was with you on that.
it's
I
not
was like,
first
like
responder, like
owners and coaches serve, but like not at that level.
right. But that being said, and I know that we have helped and saved and improved many people's lives based on what we've given them as a coach.
Yeah.
Whether that's been life coaching or nutrition stuff or fitness or whatever. So I think it's cool that they're in there. I think that's awesome. I think that the way that they make this nice mix between the three, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, I like the fact that they went heavy on the deadlifts, the 275 and the 185.
This is your the weight you were looking at open wise,
right?
Or you wanted at least 225 from the
at least that 100%, at least that. I do think that it's weird. Like this is one where like the 44, it throws me a little bit. Like I would have just gone 500, but I get what they're trying to do with the 44 years.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So it's fun.
I mean, by round 3, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad it's 440.
Okay, that's true. That might be the case. That's
true. It's so easy. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. 50 heavy deadlifts. Cool.
Dude. I mean, when you start doing the math.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. MLK, sorry. What's up? Welcome. Let's see. What does Seth have to say? Real question. Would I have been eligible to participate as past LEO or just active? I didn't look into that. Does anybody know? What did you used to do, Seth? Besides play in one of the best rock and roll Canadian bands in the late 90s, early 2000s. Does that count as service, being a rock star? And if anyone forgets, Bill's a firefighter. He's a hell of a firefighter.
Oh, I didn't know he was a cop. He was
really?
From Phoenix.
Cop? Yeah. Cool.
Like Phoenix PD?
What?
Huh.
That's awesome. The more you know. Seth's one of those guys that gets like cooler the more I get to know him. Not that I tell you like it was never cool. You know those people that are around you like, oh man, and I didn't know about that. Know that about you. You know those people in your life?
Yeah.
Seth is one of those people.
There was and as I'm saying this, Seth, put it in there. Just give me a thumbs up if it was Phoenix. I was back home visiting my mom, and I was getting some groceries or something at one of the stores, and there was a lady that came up to me, and she's like, "Hey, you're Bill Grundler, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, what's going on?" And I thought it was from like CrossFit that she would have known me from.
Yeah.
And it sort of was. But it was actually a girl that so when I was doing my teaching, I was a teacher out in Arizona, she was one of the girls that was on my swim team, and she was talking, she had her daughter with her there, and she was like, "Hey, this is the guy that took me when I was in high school, like our whole swim team up to like one of the mountains out there to go, like we went on like a ski trip. We took the kids on a ski trip.
Okay.
It was just really funny. And she said something about jump ship and was talking about jump ship. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. This weird connections in a weird place. Oh, it's in Portland? Dang. Crazy. I don't know. It's nutty.
Portland, Maine.
Are there a lot of criminals in Portland, Maine?
I don't know.
You stole my fish and my crab basket.
It was Portland, Oregon. I was like, oh, well, no wonder you're not a cop anymore.
Right, totally.
They don't have any. But they do have the one thing that was interesting in Portland, Oregon, when I went was they do have like you can't pump your own gas.
What?
Yeah, like
Man,
they
I don't
have
remember
people
that.
that pump your gas for you. Yeah, did you know that Seth has 5 gyms?
Yeah. I knew he had a bunch. Oh, okay, one in Phoenix. Okay, that's what it was. All right, I get it.
Ah,
I get
right.
it. When they were doing your programming, Seth, so good job.
Yeah. Yeah, but I went to a gas station. I think I was there for a semifinal.
Hmm.
Because we did a
Remember me and you and Kiki were going around to all the different trucks, the food trucks.
yes, and then me, you, and Baker went somewhere else.
We went to go get eggs.
We went and got the best breakfast in Portland.
With the worst floor show ever.
Yeah. The ambiance was not exactly what I was signing up for.
Oh my
The
goodness.
thing about Portland, Oregon, is fun facts about Portland, Oregon. I say the word fun loosely. Is you can't pump your own gas. The attendants have to pump it for you for some reason. The amount of homeless people there was beyond anything I'd ever seen in my life.
I've never seen you get so mad too about that.
I think it's because they were all young.
Yeah, they chose.
That's where I was getting annoyed.
They chose
Like
it.
they looked 25 or younger. I was like, you guys aren't homeless. You're just lazy.
I think they call them changers. Like they're looking for change.
I don't know what it was. And then an entire block of food trucks was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
At the time,
Donuts.
the donut, Blue Star, I think is one of the famous ones.
Yeah, Blue Star. Is it Rocket Donut?
Something. Oh yeah, there's another one. There's 2. I think Blue Star was like the new one, but there was a classic one. Was it Voodoo Donut?
Oh, Voodoo. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's the original. Well, there's a Voodoo Donut here now, but at the time, other fun things. At the time, I don't know if this is true anymore, but based off our experience there at the time, per capita has the highest number of strip clubs than any city in the U.S. And don't let Baker, who's out there somewhere, I think he's still working with Black Rifle Coffee.
Yeah.
Tell you that he found the best breakfast spot in Portland, not ask him where it is or what the name is. Tell your roommate, which just happened to be Bill at the time, the morning of an open announcement, and then he picks you up in a car and takes you to a strip club that looks like a dilapidated house. And then you went in, you're like, this is a dilapidated house. And just has some one lonely lady out there while we order steak and eggs. And I've never been more uncomfortable in my entire life.
It was, dude, in the group
I
that
pitched
we
it to
had,
you. It's like, hey, bro, Baker just called me. He's coming to pick us up. He's going to take us to breakfast. He says it's the best steak and eggs in Portland.
yeah, but look at all the people who came with us. There was Dave from RX Smart Gear. He was there with us.
Oh, I forgot.
Forgot
he was with us.
What was his name?
I thought for sure this was
Mark?
like I was going to get in trouble for that.
It seemed
It
a
was
little
borderline.
sketchy, dude. Yeah. We
Like,
got
we
in there,
made
we're
it-
like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I was like, dude, if I am late to rehearsal
Yeah. we're
because
screwed.
you took us to a strip club.
those
Lord.
poor ladies up on that wooden stage with those 3 old men around them. It was so silly, dude.
Yeah, there were yeah, and like this is what
Breakfast was good
in the
though.
morning. Yeah, it was good. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a good. I mean, it was a good breakfast. But my comfortability levels, I think, offset any enjoyment I could have gotten from that breakfast.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was rough. But all right, Service Cup, y'all. Go sign up if you guys are. Listen, if you check the boxes, like please go, please join, support the community. It goes till Thursday, and I think what it says here, it says Thursday, June 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern. So go register, hit up those 3. Great 3. You can do them back to back to back. And that's kind of nice thing too, is like you can do them in a row and not just get beat up. All you can eat crab basket.
I think this is another like Beat Dave too, isn't it? I think they have something like that.
Which, I mean, if you want to sign up for almost an automatic W.
Unless
maybe
it's a 1 rep max deadlift. Dude, he is freakishly good at a 1 rep max deadlift.
He is, which
Doesn't
is
make
why
any
I think
sense.
deadlifting is stupid.
Yeah. Big gut dude.
Advice for expecting dads. Ooh, dad talk. You want to do a little dad talk before you sign off, Bill?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
What do you
while
got?
we have you guys are here, this week, a special announcement. I'd like to say this: Taylor Self officially has our highest viewed live podcast in the history of our 4 years on our YouTube channel.
That is nuts.
Congratulations to Taylor Self.
I put in the thing earlier, dude. The gold, that mustache of his, it's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Golden strung.
Tomorrow, the CrossFit Medical Society just got announced last week, formerly CrossFit Health, and now it's molded into this. We're going to talk with Dr. Tom McCoy and Jen Pishko. They've been working together. They had this collab with her affiliate and his medical practice. And we're going to talk about what that is and what they're bringing to the table and what it could be, just to get people in the know and aware of what their plans are with this. And I believe Wednesday, we're going to try to hit up another CrossFit Jeopardy. And I just sent out an invite to Mr. Pedro White himself to see if he wanted to jump into the
he
event.
needs in.
So we'll see.
Let
me see. He says, I can do that.
Oh,
Pedro. Damn it. If your brother gets a hold of that again. You're bro, man. Bro. Back to Heidi. Nobody's over you unless you want him to be. Get it? No. Okay. Nivi's question. Advice for expecting dads. I love this question because you'll either get the 10,000 things from 10,000 people or from one person, depending on who you talk to. I remember vividly when I think I talked about this with Glinton Things podcast. And the best advice I ever got and the only advice I ever give. And it's just like one simple thing. I'd be curious to see what yours is. I'm happy to. Who is? Do you remember the owner of CrossFit Avalanche? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I do. Yeah.
He emceed for like a blip of an eye during the games with us. He's like the total bro dude. He reminds me of someone that should have been on.
I want to say it's not Forrest.
Rat.
No,
it's not him.
Shoot, I know what you're talking about though.
All right, I'll. Can you? I feel bad at forgetting your name right now, but I'll never forget your advice or you. But I love that guy. And it's I was at a trainer summit in Dallas. This was before my son was about to be born. So I think this was like November of 2017. I told Pat Barber, because we had this dinner, and I was like, hey man, because I knew Pat had a couple of kids. I was like, I want to be a dad in February. And I did exactly this question. Is like, any advice? Because I was scared to death.
Miles, God dang. Thank you, Dan. Yes. Thank you. Jeez, I always forget his name too, and I get
He's such a good dude, man.
He is. He's awesome.
And so he took me around to all the dads on staff, and he's like, give me your one best one. That's it. No more. Like, and keep it short. Took me around. I don't remember any of them except for Miles's. And what Miles said, he's like, don't play the I can't wait game. I was like, well, what does that mean? He goes, you can't help it, but you're going to recognize it when it does, is that you're going to be holding this little ball of nothing. By the way, these things are just like, it's like strings and no bones, and it's weird holding a little baby, but you're gonna be holding him in, and like I'm holding my son. I remember this is like, oh man, I can't wait till we're in the backyard playing catch, right? And that usually happens at what, like 8? Yeah, legitimately, right? Or I can't wait to watch you do this, or I can't wait to take a drive with you and just bond. And, right? And I can't, and none of it's negative, right? You're excited about the future of you and this baby, right? And he says, don't play that game. Here's why. One, when you're playing the I can't wait game, you're living in the future and you're missing the present. No matter how bad the present is, and this is kind of talking about to our amnesia of things, like newborns are rough. They just are. It is what it is. And sometimes you're like, look, I can't wait for this phase to be gone. And then you look back and you're like, oh, I remember I missed those pictures or when they were that small. I don't miss the newborn phase at all. Here's the thing about the I can't wait game. You live in the future and you miss the present. And I promise you it can wait. I promise you it can wait. And when it does arrive, it will have arrived faster than you wished it would have came when you were saying, I can't wait. Meaning, I'm playing catch with my son in the backyard, and I see a picture of him when he's like 6 months old. I'm like, man, this happened way faster than I was wishing it to be when you were 6 months old. So it can wait. It can always wait. It'll come faster than you actually wanted to in the beginning. So don't play the I can't wait game. That's
mine. I think what I would have said was something really similar to that. Because those moments will go away. Sometimes when you don't want to play, you don't want to pick them up, you don't want to, go outside and play catch, or you're just tired or whatever. Those are the times when you need to go and do it, because you're right. Those will go away. There will come a time when your kid doesn't want anything to do with you anymore because they want to play with their friends and they want to do whatever. So if you have a chance to soak that up, soak it up. But I think the thing that I would do, since you said that one, is don't take it personal. Kids do things.
Bro,
they'll say things. They'll act certain ways. They're just a kid. They're not an adult. They're not talking to you like an adult. So you can't take the things that they say and that they do that they're fully against you. Now, granted, I mean, if you're a shitball parent and you got this weird thing, I'm talking like you're a good parent, you're a good dad, you're trying to do your best thing.
Yeah.
And they don't want to, or they want mom, or they want this, or they don't, don't take it personal. It's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
Oh, Nivy, man, look at this. I didn't have a dad growing up. My mom was abusive, so nervous about parenting is an understatement. Here's the thing, man. Parenting isn't genetic, right?
You're right. And every day is just a blip on the radar. So it's not like if you have it, let's just say you have a bad day of parenting where you like go to sleep that night and you're like, dude, I fucked it all up.
Dude, I went to bed like that the other night.
Like, that's okay. And it's okay to tell your kid, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I should not have done it that way. I should have done, I'll be better at that. I mean, and that's not degrading your parentalness. That's being honest with your kid to say, like, hey, we mess up sometimes, man. We mess up sometimes, but we're family. We got to come back together.
Yeah. Showing your kids that you can make mistakes, I think, is a big thing too.
Yeah.
This isn't like necessarily parenting advice. I really like what you said a lot, because how many times now when I go home for break or see my parents, and after being a parent and I've only been a parent for 6 years, is I go back and apologize for something different every time. That was 40 years ago. Yeah, not 40, but like 35 years ago. And they're like, it's like, there's nothing to apologize. Like, it's just like, I just think of things I did when I was a kid. Like I still remember this, is like, I remember, and I was probably my son's age right now, where I told my mom that I hated her because she took away like my bow and arrow. And I still like have horrible like regret of ever saying that. I didn't mean that.
Right.
But I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was maybe 5 or 6, but I remember that and saying it, and like, not necessarily how like my mom reacted to it, because my mom was pretty, like, she was good at managing our emotions and hers. But I was just like, oh man, I think I just said something I really shouldn't have said. right? Or the way I was in high school or middle school or college or 25 or what I did when I was 30. Like there's just things like that I learn now when I have kids that I just go back and be like, man, I finally understand, or I get you, or I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting up with all my bullshit.
And there's a lot, man, like
There's so much.
like the most cliche thing to say about kids is like it's the best worst thing or the best hardest thing ever, and it's totally true because I mean, you know, being a dad now for a handful of years, you know, a couple times, it's interesting to watch parents that are first time parents try to design their kid in what they are. They dress them up a certain way. They get them into certain things. Awesome. They get them to, you know, to do these, that, or the other thing. And it's like they're playing dress up on some little Ken or Barbie doll. Yeah. And they're not. Right. They're not. And they won't be. And I think it's hard for parents to understand that, like, okay, it's another person. There are going to be some things that they do that is just like you. There are going to be some things that they try to do just like you. There are going to be some things you're like, why the hell are you doing that? You like that? What are you listening to anyway? Yeah. Like where you just don't, and it's like that you have to be able to accept that kind of stuff. And it's hard. It's really hard.
Dude, our chat is awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys are so good to each other. Not to get all like, I know we're talking dad stuff, so that means I'm going to get like, I'm always.
Here he goes, you guys. Here he's going to start crying.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not going to cry. But I mean, when me and Bill say like, we appreciate you guys so much, we really do. The thing I really do admire about people that watch this show is they're so good to each other in the chat.
Dude, Beck. I feel like you're copying me on that one.
Whoa, bro. 32. Wow. And now your youngest is going to be 2, a 30-year break. Wow. Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. Savant's chat's just fine.
No, it's fun.
Plus, I mean, like, that's what he likes.
I so bad wanted to see those guys on the water. I wanted to see him and Greg on Greg's boat. I was going to I had my ski out and I thought they were going to come all the way up. Yeah.
Were they near you?
I think they said that they stopped up in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And I think that's where they were going to take it out of the water. I was hoping they were going to bring it all the way up to Avila Beach, which is where I am. And then I would have gotten out in the water and seen them. Would have been cool.
Yeah, this is cool. I like this every once in a while. Freaking Seth dragged this out of me. Just like different topics on his show, which is actually really fun. It's like I'm all for talking about CrossFit, but like I love being a dad, man.
It's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow when we talk to Dr. Tom and Jen, which I'm really excited about. I want to hear more about this. I want people to know more about it. I mean, how much stuff like Broken Science has been pushing hard into this. And just like everything to really just trying to turn the tide on. Look, we figured out fitness. It's done. Like CrossFit we figured it out. You're welcome, world. This is what you need to do. Now, and I think this is the shift that we saw with Greg is that he did it, right? I solved fitness. Now we got to go after the people that are trying to disrupt that. And that's the medical. That's big pharma. Big soda was a part of that. It still is. The battle of sugar, chronic disease. We have the cure, as Greg says so eloquently. And now we have to stop the entity, the evil empire that is trying to make money keeping people sick for their entire lives.
Well, dude, it's the way he's done it has been so amazing. Where it's in the process, how he's gone from trying to figure out how to make people healthier with the workouts. How do I make a better workout?
Yeah.
To how do I make people healthier? To go on the next step, which is all of the things that are fighting against making you healthier. And then going behind that, now it's the science of how are these people coming up with these experiments and these studies and this data that's trying to push this way, which is not right.
Right.
And he just keeps pushing it back further and further and further and opening up that onion wider and wider and wider. It's really cool.
And that's where you need Greg. Like, that's what he did with fitness, right? It's like, this is a sham.
Yeah.
And now he's doing it with Broken Science, and they're just like hard charging. Like you said, they're finding the source.
Yeah.
The single source of that. And, with what I hope with this CrossFit Medical Society, with the backing and support of CrossFit itself, is that we, this is a weird term to use, but this is the only way I can describe it, is that I love Braveheart, but the term prima nocta, which is kind of screwed up, but it's like breed people out, is like, that's the only way you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't change. You're not going to do a presentation and just like change everybody's minds for the last 100 years.
I know.
Right. But if you educate the youth, go through their training and their, as someone called, their indoctrination, but for medical school and get in the practice, and then you raise them up with CrossFit, or you convert others that are in that, and we get this medical community that is also on the same mission as CrossFit's is, right? Our CrossFit, our
Well, just to see that as the tool. To see that as the tool for health and fitness, that you don't need to be plugging all of the other pathways and all of the other money and all of the other lobbyists and all that, the fake studies or whatever. Just for a doctor, just like what Beck was saying, that like they're treating symptoms. To be able to have the background, and it's weird that we've seen, and it'll be really interesting talking about it, because we've seen a handful of different iterations of that that haven't really hit yet and connected. So I really hope that this does, because it should be. Like we talk about all the time, it's proactive medicine, not reactive medicine.
Right. And which, when you combine both, it's a good, both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right. Bill, last question. Are you a Virgo?
No, my girlfriend is a Virgo. I'm a Taurus. That's why we get together so well.
Nice. Michael, Marlo, hey everybody. Hey guys, thanks for coming. We're signing off now. We'll be back tomorrow, talk about the Medical Society, and then we will get set to plan our... Ooh, what times can you do Wednesday? You do 1 your time?
No, because I got to get Joe. All right. I got to get Jolie then.
Oh, that's right. You got to get Joe. We'll figure it out.
Let me try to...
We'll talk about it often.
Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll let you know today.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining the show. Continue on with the Service Cup. Good luck to everybody. Love the workouts. Love what they're trying to do there. We'll see you guys tomorrow when we talk about the CrossFit Medical Society, and then we'll let you know if CrossFit Jeopardy is returning this week. Thanks for joining the show, everyone. Love to have you guys in the chat. Love the questions. Keep them coming, and see you tomorrow.